is just moving to the east at about 20 miles an hour, and we will have this warning that's in effect until we get to the 10 o'clock hour. Now, I really think this will most likely fall apart before we actually get to 10 o'clock. And we will, don't think that it'll last that long, but we're going to stay with you here on our OTT and on our digital platform so you can see here what we're watching. Now, sorry, we were having just some equipment issues there just a moment ago, but as you can see, far northwest Georgia, those are the spots that we're watching right now where we have this tornado warning that's in effect, far northern Chattooga County. And I'll take the lightning off so we can get a better look at that. Let me go back to velocity here. So there's the part that we're watching right here where the green and red come together right there. That's right along Highway 157. So here's Summerville, there's Menlo, there's Walnut Grove as you get up into parts of the southern Dade County, southern Walker and southern Dade County area where we are just watching that rotation right now. And we're actually seeing it become a little more broad. So that's becoming a little less threatening there for the storm. As it continues to push to the east, environment will be less favorable for severe weather and tornadoes. So we really think this should be weakening very soon. But we want to stay on here with you for our folks up around Menlo, Somerville, Tryon, to really keep an eye on that. Tryon, you're just outside of this polygon. See the red polygon right there? Tryon's just outside of that. Pennville is too, so is Somerville. But it is including Cloudland, Chelsea, and also Tologa. And Center Post is right where that polygon cuts off there in the southern parts of Walker County as well. But what we're seeing here, that red and green, where that comes together, that is that bit of rotation. Let me see if I can check on these velocity couplets here and just see, okay, I'm not really getting a lot out of that right now. But we'll keep an eye on this as it keeps moving to the east at about 20 miles an hour. We'll put a track on this for you. And as it moves at about 20 miles an hour, it would move to East Tryon around 9:31 if it holds together, is when it would move into East Tryon and into Subligda at 9:37, Beedham at 9:39, and then Everett Springs around 9:41, again, if that area holds together of that rotation. So you can see here what we're watching with that storm pushing over to the east. The rotation is getting a little broader. It's not quite as tight as it was just a little bit earlier. I'm keeping an eye also on the crawl there too, on air. So we expect this most likely is going to be canceled before we get to the 10 o'clock hour, which is when it is supposed to expire. But this just kind of goes to show you, we were telling you tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight that we were going to be watching some of these storms coming out of Alabama, that they may clip northwest Georgia. And that's exactly what this one excuse me, is doing there right now. We do have a lot of lightning with this. I want to give you a look at our lightning count right now as well. And that cluster right there in northwest Georgia has about 121 lightning strikes just in that red box there in Dade County, Walker County, and also into those areas of Chattooga County. I'm seeing if we have an update here on this right now. Yeah, it's they just got an update on it, just making sure that everything is still active. Yes, they just gave us a little update that it is still holding together, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for those other counties as well. So again, this is for far northwestern parts of Chattooga County, where we have this tornado warning that is in effect here. Let's go back to velocity, actually the reflectivity. And that is the area that we're watching right up there. Let me take the lightning off. And there's that very heavy rain from Lafayette down towards Somerville, and then we have more rain that goes down into areas of down to Floyd County as well, with those storms there. And that brief rotation is right there just north of Somerville, and then the really heavy rain is in Dade and also Walker County. That will be getting closer to Whitfield County. I really think this is going to fall apart. Maybe it'll probably send some rain into parts of Gordon County, but we really think that the rotation part of that you're seeing back here in that red polygon is going to be falling apart before that system moves through our area. And now again, I want to give you some perspective of where we are watching. Here in the Atlanta area, we're fine. Really, most of our viewing area is looking good, but we just have this one little spot there in far northwest Georgia. This is the top little corner of what is the northern fringes of our viewing area, where we have this very small tornado warning, and we're expecting that this is going to be falling apart very soon. And if the National Weather Service is going to potentially let this cancel this before the expiration time at 10 o'clock. But we're all fine here in Atlanta, just watching that part of the storm right there, right in the middle of that polygon right here in the northern parts of Chattooga County. This is reflectivity that shows the very heavy rain. I'll put the lightning back on here. We had around 121 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes out of this storm, and there's plenty of lightning there. I called a relative up in northwest Georgia just a little bit earlier, and they were telling me how much lightning was in association with that storm and all the thunder that they were hearing there as well. Let me take the lightning data now off. We'll go back to velocity. And just there, what we normally look at here in the velocity mode is when we have very tight rotation, where you have the red and green in a really small area. This is showing more of a broader view of that rotation, which means that it's not really that tight, and that's why we're thinking that it's showing signs of weakening as it moves over to the east, still at about 20 miles an hour. So as this is getting closer to the edge of that polygon here of where that tornado warning is in effect, this is when the National Weather Service will be deciding whether or not they are going to extend that over a little bit more. If they do extend it over a little bit more, we'll do another quick cut in on air on 11 Alive to let everybody know what's going on, and then we'll continue our coverage here as well. Just making sure there is not a new warning coming in. No, that's all still the same. So just really waiting for the National Weather Service. What I'm feeling a little more comforted in seeing this activity right now. That rotation is kind of spreading out and becoming a little broader. So that's why we're thinking that this most likely is going to be canceled soon, and it may not make it to that expiration time of 10 o'clock. Elsewhere, let me put this back into reflectivity mode, and you can see all that rain, all the lightning there, very heavy rain. And so we're talking about Chattanooga is right up here. There's Chickamauga, Lafayette. So this is really between Lafayette and Somerville, a little closer to Somerville, but just north of Somerville, where we have that potential rotation right there. We also were watching the potential for some hail in association with this as well. And really what we're seeing right now on our hail product is just a little bit of that. We'll give this estimation right here of about a ½ inch. Let me get this running again on air. About a ½ inch in diameter of that hail, which is right on the line there of Chattooga County and also the southern parts of Walker County for that potential hail in association with that. And of course, that could maybe dent a car, or some maybe just almost heavy enough to maybe cause some little dents in some cars there. So the other severe thunderstorm warnings that were in effect until 9:30 have just expired. So we'll see if they will issue another severe thunderstorm warning and if they're going to hold on to this tornado warning, because what's happening with this bit of rotation that's very broad now is getting closer to exiting that polygon. So the Weather Service will be making a decision if they need to extend that out a little bit more, or if they are going to allow that warning to be canceled before the expiration time at 10:30. So that's what we're waiting for there now. I'm watching very closely here on our National Weather Service chat. This is our direct communication tool that we have with the National Weather Service to so they can let us know whether or not they're going to cancel this before it is set to expire. The other thing we're watching here, I'm going to put this into motion. And again, nothing really going on here in the Atlanta area. The rest of North Georgia, Northeast Georgia, east of us, south of us, it is that one small little bit on the far northwest fringes of our viewing area where we have that very small part of Chattooga County that remains in that tornado warning as that storm is continuing to move over to the east at about 20 miles an hour. Let's get back up there just a little bit tighter. You can see that area that we're watching right now just north of Summerville, between Lafayette and Summerville, and we'll keep moving on over to the east here with plenty of lightning. I'm going to put this back into live mode. We'll get another count of the lightning. This is often an indicator. All right, let's do the lightning data. I'm going to draw a red box around that entire storm. A little bit earlier, it was 121 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. Now it's 146. So that's actually gone up a little bit. We're seeing a little more lightning with that storm. But the rotation part of this does look like it's showing signs that it's a little bit broader. Now, as this was moving through parts of northeast Alabama, we also had a good bit of rotation with it. We had a tornado warning that was just over the line into Alabama as the storm was crossing over into Dade and also into Walker County. But as it then crossed over, it's just now that very small warning right now for that northwestern parts of Chattooga County. And here's the velocity mode one more time. And so now that rotation, that little bit of rotation that we have there that is a lot broader now, is just outside of the polygon. So I would think that the National Weather Service, if they are going to issue another tornado warning, they would do it anytime now because that rotation part is now just outside of that polygon. It's now, the broad rotation is around Tryon right here, getting closer to highway. Okay, so they now just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that area of southern parts of Walker County as well as northern parts of Chattooga County. So I want to put that up here for you so you can see this is the new severe thunderstorm warning for Chattooga County as well as Walker County, southern parts of Walker. So it's northern Chattooga, southern areas of Walker County. It's going to be in effect until 10:15. So that's going to be for, another 30, 40 minutes there for 10:15. Let me ask them. Okay, well, they may issue another tornado warning soon. So they're saying that the rotation is now cycling back. So for those of you in the control room, if they do issue another tornado warning, we will do another shorter cut-in for on air. So I'll let you guys know if they do issue another one here in just a little bit. But I don't think that we would stay wall to wall on air with that. It would be another shorter one for those areas of northwest Georgia. I need to check one more thing here really quick. For those of you who are watching here online and on OTT, thanks for your patience with us as we've got a lot going on, trying to navigate everything going on between TV and what we're doing on our digital feed as well, making sure all the crawls are running at all the right places here. But it's really interesting what we're watching here with these storms as they're moving through parts of northwest Georgia. I need to check one message that I have here as well. Okay, so the Weather Service is saying what often happens with these storms is we'll see that rotation. It may broaden out a little bit and then tighten up and then broaden out again and tighten up. So this rotation of what we're seeing now, the Weather Service is saying that it's maybe showing some signs of cycling again, which means it could be tightening up just a little bit more here with that area in northern parts of Chattooga County. They are monitoring it as to whether or not they will issue yet another tornado warning. So here's the red polygon. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me put it back in velocity mode and you'll be able to see that a little bit better here. I'll put it back into reflectivity and take the lightning off. So this is the red polygon right here. The rotation is already outside of that polygon. So that was the original tornado warning. And now we're waiting to see that because of this rotation, the green and the red that you see right here, because that is now moving over to the east, it's outside of that polygon. They've issued a new severe thunderstorm warning since that rotation looked a little bit broader and wasn't as impressive as it was earlier. But now they're watching it, and we're watching it to see if it is tightening up a little bit more and maybe cycling a little bit. And if that is the case, they potentially may have to issue another small tornado warning just for that northern part of Chattooga County. I don't know that it would extend over into Gordon County, but we'll wait and see. It depends on if they think that would hold together for that tornado warning. So if they do issue another tornado warning, right now it is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:15. And okay, so the tornado warning just was canceled. All right. So that tornado warning for southwestern Walker and also northwestern Chattooga County is now canceled. The tornado threat for that area in that polygon is no longer a threat for that area. So that was just for here, but we're still watching this part here in that severe thunderstorm warning as to whether or not that rotation is going to cycle again or maybe tighten up to see if they will potentially have to issue another tornado warning. Let me see what they're saying here. All right, so they haven't yet. So I'm going to hang with you here on our OTT as well as our digital platforms, our 11 Alive app, 11alive.com for a little while longer, because I want to keep an eye on this rotation as it keeps just moving across far northern Chattooga County. And again, Dade and Walker County are not legally in our viewing area. They're in the Chattanooga viewing area. So we don't go on the air for Dade and Walker, but we do go on the air for Chattooga. And if it does go into Gordon County, if they do happen to issue another tornado warning. So I'm staying on here with you on our OTT platforms. I'm getting that crawl back on the TV. I don't know why it came off again. As well as our 11 Alive app and 11alive.com, just to keep an eye on that rotation, and we'll be prepared to go back on TV again if we need to, if this does become another tornado warning for those areas. But it's really interesting to kind of watch this. You know, we mentioned earlier, I'm going to go back to the Storm Prediction Center map, where earlier today we were talking about that level 3 risk up to the north of us, up toward northern Kentucky, into areas of Indiana and Ohio, the level 2 risk extending down into Tennessee. But we were talking earlier about that level 1 risk, that very low risk for some isolated storms there in northwest Georgia, as those storms that we were watching over into Alabama were moving and could clip parts of northwest Georgia. And then that's what happened. Those are clipping northwest Georgia right now, and one of those does have some rotation there along with it. Let's go back to the radar product though. So you can see here those areas still that we are watching in northwest Georgia. So that's well to the north of Atlanta. Still plenty of lightning. I want to get another lightning count while we're here before I take the lightning data off. Now about 195 lightning strikes. So really the lightning count is coming up. There's a lot more lightning with this than we had earlier. So still very strong storms there too. Now I want to take you to the hail product, because the hail with this, the National Weather Service is saying, okay, there we go, right there. That's right on the county line between Walnut Grove and Tryon. There at Welcome Hill, you see Center Post, Oakton, Welcome Hill right here. Where you see that blue color right now, that is where we see the potential for some hail of over an inch in diameter. So the hail core and the hail size with this and the hail signature is around an inch in diameter. So that's some pretty large hail. That could put some dents in some cars. And that is really just between Welcome Hill and also the area of Oakton, which is in the southern parts of Walker County. And this is coming right there at Highway 27. You can see Highway 27 right there. So this is Tryon, Welcome Hill, and Oakton. That hail core right there that's about to cross over Highway 27 and near Highway 151 is a pretty large hail with those storms here in parts of northwest Georgia. Let's go back now to the reflectivity. And there's all that lightning there with it too. I'll take the lightning off. So there's the heaviest rain there, and then velocity shows again. Okay, so that's the interesting part right here. This was broader here, but now this around Center Post, between Center Post, Tryon, and Oakton there, we'll have to keep an eye on that part to see. That's where that rotation now is looking a little more interesting again, where it does look like it's tightening up. So it's that part, excuse me, where we could see that rotation getting a little bit tighter and the potential that the National Weather Service may have to issue another tornado warning to include the northern parts of Chattooga County again. I don't know that if they do, it would be including those areas of Gordon County. We're not sure yet if it would, but again, something that we're watching here very closely as I'm keeping an eye on our crawl there on the screen at 11 Alive on our TV station as well. So now let's go back to velocity, back to reflectivity. And I want to widen out just to give you perspective of what we're watching here. And I'm going to put this into motion. This is for the last 2 hours. So this is part of that storm. As it was over in Alabama, it did prompt a tornado warning there too. We had sightings of a funnel cloud. We don't have confirmation of any actual touchdown or any injuries or anything there or any damage there at all. We were looking at the debris signature, and we didn't really see anything showing any debris either, but there was some good rotation there. Doppler radar indicated rotation is why that the National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for those spots. There's an update here on the severe thunderstorm warning. Now, again, that heaviest part of the storm is near Tryon, near Somerville, moving east at 25 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail are the main threats with that. But again, we do have the potential that it could cycle up again. That rotation could cycle up again, and it is possible that the National Weather Service could issue another tornado warning for another small part of northern Chattooga County. You know what? I want to show you our tower cam in Rome right now. So I know that looks really dark behind me here. I have moved the camera up toward the north and west of Rome. Let me move this again just a little bit more because I want to be able to see. We saw some lightning strikes there as I first took that shot from Rome. And yeah, if you want to, take it full. So there's Rome right here. That you can see that a little bit better. Let me go more directly north. Now I know this is a dark camera here. You can kind of see some of the lights there on the ground, but I'm kind of moving more a little bit to the north. I'm wanting to see if we see any lightning strikes out of that from the distance there. Again, I know this is a dark camera, but you can kind of see some of those lightning flashes there. Yeah, you can kind of see some of that. I'll go back a little bit more to, yeah, there you see some of those lightning flashes. So there is plenty of lightning with those storms there in northwest Georgia. Let's go back to radar, and we can kind of get an idea. Let's go back to radar, if you will. There's some of those lightning strikes there too. So here again is a look at radar where we're fine here in Atlanta. It is this cluster of storms though there in northwest Georgia where we are watching severe weather move through. This did prompt a tornado warning for southern parts of Dade and Walker County earlier and northern parts of Chattooga County. That was supposed to be in effect until 10 o'clock. But the National Weather Service canceled the tornado warning a little bit early because the rotation was not as tight as it was. It didn't look like it was an actual tornado on the ground there. Still though, very heavy rain and storms are moving through there with some quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds possible. We are also still watching an area of potential rotation that has been loosening up a little bit and then tightening up, then loosening up again and then tightening up again. Right now, it's looking like it may be tightening up just again a little bit more here. So we're standing by to see if the National Weather Service is going to issue another tornado warning for the northern parts of Chattooga County and whether or not that would hold together into Gordon County to potentially go into Sugar Valley. We're not sure yet. Yes, you're going to have rain, you're going to have thunder and lightning and wind there in Gordon County, but whether or not any of this rotation actually holds together to make it into that area, we will have to wait and see. Again, not looking too threatening right now, but this is why I want to hold with you just a little bit longer here on all of our OTT platforms and our digital platforms, just so that we can kind of keep you posted on that potential rotation as to whether or not another warning could potentially be issued there for those areas in northwest Georgia. But really, that's a very small part of our viewing area. Of all of the folks who are watching TV in North Georgia tonight, it's just that very small part right there where we had that warning just a little bit further, just a little bit earlier there on the far northern fringes of our viewing area. So that's a look at what we've been watching out there right now as well. Also, I want to take you up to the north because this is well to the south of that main complex that we've been watching with that severe weather threat that is up to the north of us. There's a tornado warning there in parts of Ohio. We've got tornado watches here. Stretching down through parts of Kentucky. And there's that one lone little bit there in northwest Georgia where we have that severe thunderstorm moving through northwest Georgia, getting closer to Calhoun with some very heavy rain moving through, and the northern parts of Rome as well. Let's see here. The storm is still showing mid-level rotation. The next area with potential threat appears to be the northern part of Floyd County. Damaging winds are going to be the main concerns there. So, yeah, right now, so this is, can y'all tell right here, this is that northern bit of Floyd. Can you see that little bit right there where the black county lines are showing there from Armurchie going up that northern part of Floyd County? We're watching that as it's going to cross over that and then potentially move into Gordon County, showing just some mid-level rotation, not anything really coming down to the ground. But again, this is something that we will, just keep watching here to see if that rotation is in fact going to hold together. So there's the green and red right there. So this is to the east of Highway 27, north of Armurchie, south of Villanelle. There is the county line between Chattooga and also southern parts of Walker County. Here is that northern part of Floyd, right here, north of Armurchie, just that, that almost that little piece that sticks up there in Floyd County right there. And then there's Gordon County, there's Resaca, here is Calhoun, there's Adairsville. And then here is that potential rotation that we're keeping an eye on that is still very broad, just showing mid-level rotation. And so the next area that should see strong storms or some of that severe weather will be that northern part of Floyd County, right there, that's north of Armurchie. Let me take the lightning data off again. Before I do that though, let me do another lightning count. 175. So it's gone down just a little bit from the 190s now to 175. And we often look at that lightning count to give us an idea of whether or not the storm is increasing in intensity, or maybe if the lightning count is coming down, that's showing signs of weakening. But this is still holding together pretty well. So the entire complex still has a lot of heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning with it, and some winds that could be around 60 miles an hour. However, it's the rotation part that's not as impressive now as it was just a little bit earlier. Let's go back here to velocity mode. So there's that area right there west of Tryon, where we have that little bit of rotation right here that we're keeping an eye on to see if that would cross over that northern part. Now again, northern part, that northern little point there of Floyd County, you're going to have heavy rain, you're going to have strong winds. It's whether or not this is going to have enough rotation with it for another tornado warning to be issued. We'll kind of wait and see on that. And then Gordon County is right here at Sugar Valley and over toward Calhoun. There's 75 as you go from Atlanta up 75 through Adairsville and then up toward Dalton and into Chattanooga. This is the part that we're talking about just to the west of 75. Coming out of northern parts of Chattooga County. I want to do something else here on the velocity mode just to kind of see some of these pixels here and some of the winds in association with it. So we do have still some strong winds there with that in that storm. So this is still a severe thunderstorm warning, but whether or not this is going to prompt another tornado warning right now, we don't think that rotation is as impressive as it was a little bit earlier with the one that did prompt the tornado warning a little bit earlier there in the northern parts. We just got a new, let's go back to velocity since we just got this new scan in. Okay, that looks very similar to what we had earlier. But folks over in Beadham, over toward Everett Springs, if they're at Everett Springs Road as well, this is the part that I want you guys to watch as that moves over toward the north and east with very heavy rain, plenty of thunder and lightning, and just a little bit of mid-level rotation still showing up here on radar. All right, back to, and I'm going to put this into motion as well. So it's that northern part of Floyd County here, north of Rome, where we do have the lightning, that heaviest part of the rain there, and those strong winds, and that mid-level rotation that we're keeping an eye on there. So what I think I'm going to do now, guys, is I will stop our coverage here. We'll keep radar. I don't know if they can keep radar up on the OTT. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and end our coverage here now. I'll wait till 10 o'clock. I'll go another 5 minutes. I'll wait till 10 o'clock just to make sure that the National Weather Service doesn't issue an additional warning there in northwest Georgia. We'll wait and see how that progresses on over to the east, and if they issue another warning, we'll wait and see on that. So we'll hang on here on our digital platforms for another 5 minutes at least until we see what happens there with this storm in northwest Georgia and whether or not any additional warnings will be issued, and then we'll break away from our coverage here. And in fact, I'll tell the digital folks there that online they can keep this the radar up there when we end this coverage if we stop at 10 o'clock here. So this is that area that we're watching there between Summerville and Calhoun. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect, and I'll show you here that warning. It is for Chattooga and Walker County, severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15. And right now it is about 4 minutes until 10 o'clock. So that would be in effect until 10:15. I expect that they may issue another severe thunderstorm warning that could include northern Floyd County, also into areas of Gordon County potentially. And then we will see if they will issue another one there. That would most likely be in effect until 10:45, maybe 11 o'clock for those storms in far northwest Georgia. And again, whether or not they're going to issue another tornado warning, I would think that if they were, they would have already done that by now, because this rotation there, yeah, it still doesn't look as impressive. It still looks a little broad, but we do have some strong winds there with that. And again, you don't have to have a tornado to cause damage. These strong winds and severe thunderstorms can also cause some damage there as well. So those of you in Calhoun and Armurchie and just south of Dalton, I want you guys to keep an eye on this storm here as it continues moving through. There, it'll be crossing over 75 in just a little while. We're getting a lot of lightning with that there in northwest Georgia, just north of Rome. Can you take that tower cam again, remote 58, I believe it is. Take that full, and actually I'll put it up here, and then you can take max full. That'll be easier. So here again is the tower cam out of Rome. And I'm going to move that over just a little bit. This is looking more to the north and east. Let's go back to a little bit more to due north. And I've been seeing a couple lightning flashes out of the corner of my eye as I'm able to kind of monitor this. This goes back to due north. And we'll look, kind of keep an eye on that to see if we see any of those lightning strikes in the distance. Again, this is north of the Rome area is where we're looking right now, where we have been seeing some flashes of lightning out of that as the storm is, again, just north of the Rome area. All right, a new update in from the National Weather Service saying that they're getting some new scans coming in right now, and that will be the determining factor as to whether or not they issue any new warnings, whether that would be another severe thunderstorm warning, potentially for Floyd and Gordon counties, or as to whether or not they may have to elevate this to a tornado warning. So that's what I'm going to wait on as these new scans are coming in right now on the National Weather Service radar there, and will determine whether or not they are going to issue another warning there. So that's what I'm going to hang with you. I know I told you I would be with you until about 10 o'clock. It may be a little bit after 10 until that decision is made for those areas of northwest Georgia if another warning is going to be issued. But as of right now, we have this severe thunderstorm warning for northern Chattooga County, southern parts of Walker County. That is supposed to expire at 10:15. The question now is, will that be extended to include northern Floyd, Gordon County, or in areas near that, possibly southern Whitfield County? Well, that's what we're waiting on to see, whether or not they would issue a severe thunderstorm warning, possibly, or if they would need to issue another tornado warning because of this bit of rotation that you see right there, where the greens and reds come together. This is a broader rotation. It's not really that tight of a rotation. This is a broader rotation. So again, more of a mid-level rotation that's not really touching down or causing any issues there. Also, let's look at the hail as well, because we had the hail core has come way down. We had hail that was more than 1 inch in diameter. Now all we see is that little bit of gray color, which is indicating just about 1/3 of an inch in diameter, really small, maybe pea-size hail with that now. So that is a good sign as well that that storm is not quite as strong or as intense as it was a little bit earlier. And let's do one more thing here. Put this into live mode and see what the lightning count looks like right now. About 72. That's a good sign. Earlier it was around just under 200 lightning strikes. Now it's at about 72 lightning strikes in the past 15 minutes. So that's showing that we are seeing this storm showing signs of weakening. So that's another good sign that we have right now as well out of that. So I'm going to hang with you just a few more minutes and we will see if the Weather Service, okay, so they did just now extend the severe thunderstorm warning. It is for Chattooga, northern Floyd, all right, so it's that little part of Floyd. So what they did is they just extended this over a little bit to include northern Chattooga, that little bit of Floyd right there, western parts of Gordon County, as well as far southern parts of Walker County. This strongest part of the storm is located near Subligna, or 8 miles northeast of Somerville, moving east at 20 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and penny-size hail with this storm. So we think that they're going to hold on to mainly issuing severe thunderstorm warnings. We may have a little bit of some debris in the road, a tree possibly in the road, and power lines at 550 Welcome Hill Road. That's also in Chattooga County. So it could be that this wind is causing some damage there, maybe bringing some trees down or some power outages there in the northern parts of Chattooga County. So what I'm going to do now is, now that we have this severe thunderstorm warning, this kind of tells us that they are not going to issue another tornado warning. So I'm going to end our coverage here on our OTT platforms. I'll tell our digital team to keep radar up for anybody who wants to keep an eye on that. And you can kind of keep that eye on that too. If that rotation tends to ramp back up a little bit, we will break back into programming and continue our coverage here on our OTT platforms for those storms there in Northwest Georgia. But for right now, we will take a break and let you watch the radar that we'll have streaming here, as well as have more coverage for you tonight at 11 o'clock, but we will break in and we'll have more for you if these storms happen to get any more intense for tonight.